It's a mimer from Shabbos Parshas Hazinu, Yud Beis Tishrei, Tavshin Mem Beis, 1982. So in our parsha it says, Kенשר Ya'ir kinoi, like an eagle awakens its nest, al goizol of Yirachiv. It will hover over its eaglets, its little baby chicks. Hine maksiv leil menei. What does it say earlier in the in this parsha? Yimtzaeu beretz midbar, that he will find him, referring to the Jewish people. He found them in a land of wilderness. V'achar is a Messiah, and afterwards he concludes, Havayim ba'adad yanchenu, that Hashem will lead him alone, separate from all the nations. The simple meaning of the beginning of this mimer about the eagle is as follows: Baruch Hu noyegim bnei Yisrael, that Hashem acts with the Jewish people with mercy and compassion, like an eagle that hovers over its eaglets. Like Rashi explains, that it doesn't want to overwhelm the eaglets and just like land on it immediately in such a shocking manner, but it hovers over it to like wake it up in a slow manner, not to overwhelm it. This means there's literally, when we're talking about a physical, literal eagle, and this literal physical eagle that flies in the sky, it has compassion and mercy. Then there's Kенשר. There's like an eagle. There's mercy and compassion that's like an eagle and higher than it. We're comparing it to an eagle, but not comparison that's less, but it's actually a comparison of something that's higher and greater than the eagle's compassion. All matters in the Torah are to be found in all the worlds till the most highest of levels. Moving from this understood, just like there's these two levels in the physical world. There's the level of the actual eagle, and there is acting like an eagle in the sense of having the compassion like and even more than an eagle. So too, it's in the worlds that are higher in this world. The worlds of Bri, Yitzir, Adlo, Atzilus, till the world of Atzilus. Though there's 10 spheres in the world of Atzilus, which 10 shows on seemingly disparity, it's still a world of unity. And in that world of unity, also in this world of unity, there is a level of the eagle, the eagle itself, just like in the physical world, there's the eagle itself, and there's something like an eagle. So too in Atzilus, there's the eagle itself, and that's the mid of compassion, of mercy of Atzilus, Sfiras Atiferes. Kенשר. There's the level of like an eagle. There's a compassion and mercy that's beyond the level of the emotion of mercy and compassion. Despite the fact that we said that in all the worlds there is the compassion of the eagle, and there is like the eagle, which is higher, became still in all, the primary level of Torah is down here below. Like it says, that the Torah is not in the heavens, meaning Torah is primarily here. Like the teaching of the Mizrach Magid and what Chazal say, know what is above from you. All matters of above are dependent upon you. What does that mean? Dependent upon you. Everything that's going on in the high worlds is dependent upon the service of a person down here below. Especially post-Matan Torah. That's primarily when the Torah was given down here below. Instead of the decree that separated the heavens and the earth, Hashem came down and gave us the Torah down here below and made it and established that the Torah is not in the heavens. In addition to that, the higher something is, the lower it descends. This means that the most highest idea in Torah is found specifically down here below. From this, it's also understood concerning the eagle that this pasuk includes both extremes. The most highest levels of mercy and compassion, they come down specifically down here below. The purpose of the Torah down here in this world, that over here down here below, there's the simple and literal idea of the mercy and compassion of an eagle. So he's going to explain about this relationship of the most highest level of mercy, the way it's in the Oil Masal Yoinim, with the physical mercy down here, and specifically, it's meant to be down here. He says in the second paragraph, the idea behind this is, the Niksiv, it says in the Pasuk, Shloisha Heima Niflu Memani. It's a Pasuk in Mishlei. 3 things Shlomo HaMelech said were like beyond me. Something that I am wondered about, something that's a wondrous thing that I don't understand, and so on. One of the 3 things he says is Derech HaNesher B'Shamayim, the path and the way of the eagle in the heavens. So what's wondrous, what's so beyond understanding about the path of the eagles in the heavens? So he says, it's explained in a different place. The explanation is that Pelahu, the wonder is, how is it possible to have the eagle's face? That we know it's an impure bird. It's not a kosher bird. One cannot eat eagle, poultry that's made from eagle. You can't eat. How can it be that there's an unkosher bird, a non-kosher bird, in the Merkava above? So that's why it says, one of the things that was a pella, one of the things that was wondrous to me was Derech HaNesher B'Shamayim. How is the eagle so high in the heavens? Meaning, how is the eagle in the Merkava Elyon? So the Rebbe asks on this a question. Seemingly, that's not the only non-kosher animal that's to be found in the Merkava Elyon. The Rebbe says we need to understand in the divine chariot, in the Merkava that was seen by the Navi. There's also the lion's face that was to the right, that was seen facing right, that it's a non-kosher animal as well. Why is the wonder specifically about the eagle? Why are we wondering about the eagle? We should instead say in general. But he doesn't say it in general. How does the Merkava have non-kosher animals? He just says the eagle doesn't belong over there. Derech HaNesher B'Shamayim. The explanation of this is according to what's explained in a different place. Derech HaNesher, the path and the way of the eagle. Pnei Nesher Shemerkava, the eagle's face that's in the divine chariot. Inyan Kava Emtzoi. We know that's the center line. Like we said, it's the midah of rachmim, mercy and compassion has to do with the feres. That's the central line. And the central line goes up always to the highest. That's why I was wondering specifically on the eagle's face in the Merkava. Because the lion's face, top of the next page, is to the right. The Pnei Aryeh Shel Merkava, Heim B'Kav Yamin, Ha'oyle B'Chitzonius HaKeser B'Levat. Since it's in the right line, there's 3 lines, right, left, and center. And we know that the right line of Atzilus and the left line of Atzilus, these only reach the external part of Keser. Therefore, it's not such a wonder how there could be a chayat meya, a non-kosher animal, in the right line of the Merkava. As opposed to the eagle's face. That's in the central line. that goes all the way to the inner level of Keser. We know that the center line is Mavriach min HaKotzer LaKotzer. It goes through from one extreme to the other extreme. It goes from the highest level to the lowest level. So therefore it's a big wonder. How is it possible to be a non-kosher bird in the inner level of Keser, in the deepest level of Keser, which is because it's associated with the central line? So that was Shlomo Melch's wonder in Mishlei. He said it's a Pella. Chassidus is going to explain actually how that is. Second paragraph on the second page. The explanation of this matter is specifically, it's not just it can be, but because it is rooted so high and so deep in the inner level of Keser, therefore it fell so low to descend into a non-kosher bird. That's why it's called Nesher. When something like falls off, leaf falls off a tree, or whatever you would call Neusher, Alav Neusherim. Neshira means falling off. The Nafum in Dargate, that it fell from its level, and so far that the level of the eagle, the way it's Mushish and Primis HaKeser fall, until it even fell into a non-kosher bird. That's outside of the domain, outside of the area of Kedusha. With this will be understood, the continuation of the psukim that we brought at the beginning of the Maimer. It says earlier that he found them in a wilderness, in a desert. The Midbar Adam Sham. Midbar is a place that an Adam does not inhabit. And we know that this is a concept. We have this also in the Maimer of Anila Doidi. The Alter Rebbe speaks about it, the difference between Sada and Midbar. What does it mean that Lo Yashav Adam Sham? It's outside of the dwelling of the living place of Adam Elyon. That's what it means, Lo Yashav Adam Sham, that Adam Elyon does not reside over there. And not just is it outside of the residence of Adam Elyon, it's also outside of the settlement of the Yidden that are also called Adam. Why are Yidden called Adam? Because Edmala Elyon, because I'm likened to above. Every Yid has a holy soul. That's a part of Hashem above. Like it says also earlier before this in our parsha, that Yidden are part of Hashem. So just like Adam HaElyon has no connection with things that are outside of the area of Kedusha, therefore also Adam, the Yidden are also Lo Yashav Adam Sham. The Yidden also Lefichach Ein Lam Shum Shaychus L'Makom HaMidbar Shem Chutz L'Kedusha. They have no association and connection to a place of a wilderness, meaning a place that's outside of the realm of holiness. Not only did no person, in other words, a Yid, inhabit the place, not only didn't he settle over there, but he didn't even pass through it. It means the Yidden have no association, no connection with this place. They don't even pass through this level that's called the Midbar, a place that's not a place of Kedusha. And that's what he continues after talking about Yimtzo'ehu Be'eretz Midbar. It's a place that a Yid has no connection with. It's a place that Kedusha has no connection. Adam Elyon is not there. That is the place of the eagle who awakens his nest. To this place, the eagle fell down. Even on such a place, it says, he will find him in a land that's a wilderness. Like it says also in earlier in parts of Nitzavim, that even there, even if a person is found in this place where it's not Hashem's dwelling place, and it's not a Yid's dwelling place, and it's not even a place where a Yid passes through, even from there, Hashem Elokecha will gather you, collect you, and He'll take you from there. The ascent and the return from this place, the tshuva from this place, it's through the revelation of Knesher in the most highest level, the inner level of Keser. It's, as we know, from the forest itself, you take the axe, you take the handle for the axe to be able to knock down the tree. From the wood itself, you take the handle to be able to knock down and chop down the tree. The same thing, Davke, the level of Nesher, that falls so low, the eagle falls so low, into Eyuberetz Midbar, it's in a place of wilderness. That's how, from the eagle and revealing the root of the eagle in the level it's higher than say the Shtalshlos, you can cause the return and the elevation. Through this, we ascend to the innermost level of Kesed. The Kiva Shakal Agavoya, Yoiser, Yerd, Lamata B'Yoiser, since the higher something is, the lower it descends. Only through ascending from such a distant place, a place of a midbar, the elevation and ascent is so much higher than if you would ascend from a place that wouldn't be so low. Like it's explained, similar to what's explained in many places. In the explanation of the pasuk, not on bread alone a person will live. Rather, everything that came out of the mouth of Hashem, from that a person will live. That the person who is a talking person, he's the highest level, he needs to find and he needs to have the moitzi piavai that's in Doimitz Me'achai. Seemingly, he has his own moitzi piavai. Why does he need to come on to the Dvar Avaya that's in the Doimitz Me'achai? From the fact that these sparks fell down so much lower, in all the inanimate things and the growing things and the living things that are lower than a human being, muchach, that itself is a proof. The root is much higher. Therefore, the sparks of the Moitzi Pi Hashem that are to be found in Doimitz Me'achai have the capability to give vitality and energy and life to the Moitzi Pi Havai that's in the human being. So in other words, because it's lower, it has a greater power. So too will be understood even lower than the Doimitz Me'achai. Because the Doimitz Me'achai are talking about kosher things. Over here we're talking about that the level of the eagle, that it fell outside of the area of Kedusha, specifically and only through ascending from this place, we go up to the inner level of Keser. Top of the next page, and this is the reason why the neshama descended from a high building to a deep pit, all the way from the level of the neshama that you gave me, the level of you, the Eibishter himself gave me the neshama. Until you blew it into me, and why did the neshama go down such a great descent? So that in this world there should be the ascent from the lowest level. Specifically by the ladder standing on the ground, meaning in the lowest level. Only because it stands on the ground does the other end of the ladder, the top end of the ladder, reach the heavens. To the most highest level does one reach only through coming down here in this world. Until the Ruach returns to the Eibishter that gave it. In other words, the most highest level. That's why it also continues in the Parsha Yitzrenu. He will guard him. like the dark, like the pupil of his eye. The Ishin, what does the word Ishin mean? That means the black part of the eye. Like Chazal say, a person does not see through the whites of his eyes. That doesn't have the capability to see. A person sees via the pupil, via the black of his eye. What does that indicate spiritually? How can it be sight? Sight should be luminous. Sight should have to do with white. Why do we talk about sight, which is one of the greatest powers that we have, specifically with darkness, with black? The Indian the idea of the black of the eye, the darkness and the concealment and the distance to chulum. The idea is bonus possession him to mahelem through thinking into the fact that he's finding himself in a place of concealment, in a place that's distant, and how bad and bitter it is you're leaving Hashem. Until he comes to such a tshuva from the depth of his heart that the intentional sins become like mitzvahs, and not just like the Rebbe says, but it's actual mitzvahs. There's the two things. There's two levels. It becomes like merits, but it's not quite a merit. And then the Rebbe says that we could read it not kizachis with a chafadimian, that it's like, but zachias, that it's actual mitzvahs itself. The Rebbe also explains that when it says Sulam Mutzav Artsa V'Roisha Magya Shomayma, says that Artsa is lower than Eretz and Shomayma is higher than Shomayim. So specifically to be able to reach the highest level of Shomayim, Shomayma, he's saying over here, it needs to be not just in Eretz, but Artsa. By the fact that the ladder is standing Artsa, that's how you reach the level of Shomayim. I didn't open it up for questions. Any questions? Second paragraph on the third page on Kuf Nun Vav. K'Nasher Ya'ir Kinoi, that's what it says, like an eagle awakens his nest, al Gizolov Yirachiv, that he will hover over his chicklets, over his eaglets. Darichuf al Gizolov, the idea that he's hovering over his chicklets. Moira al Harachman Shal Nesher Kipshutai. It indicates the mercy of the literal eagle, the eagle down here below. The idea avodas hatshuva, b'bchinas nesher lamata, through the avodah of a tshuva, from a level of an eagle down here below. Oilim lebchinas K'Nasher Ya'ir Kinoi. We go up to the level of an eagle that awakens its nest. That's the highest, most level, like we said before. The eagle, which is a non-kosher animal down here, when we do the level of tshuva, we reach the most highest level of eagle, that way it is in the Pnimius HaKesed. Similar to what is brought down in a different place, the Isratzen, the Isratzen. There are two levels of Ratzen. There's a limited will, a will that's based on intellect, and there's a will that's beyond intellect. Yet, despite the fact that there's a will below or based on intellect, and then there's a will that's beyond intellect, they're still interconnected. The lower level of will, the will that's beneath and under the level of intellect, is a vessel. It draws down the will of above. That so too, the level of Kabbalah soil, the simple awe of Hashem, is a vessel to the higher level of awe, to the level of complete bittul b'metzias. The lower level of wisdom in Kedusha is a keli for the higher level of Chachma. Chachma is associated with Chachma Shem Malchus. Chachma is the Chachma of the first sphere of Atzilus. Through the level of the eagle, we go up to the attribute of mercy of above, until a mercy that's even higher than being called a midah. It's higher than an attribute, higher than something that's midah from the word measure. It says he will find him in a desert land, in a wilderness. The Metzia Shayach B'davar Shenevad, when we say the term finding, that's by something that got lost. Hainu Shegam Eilu Shenevdu Ba'aretz Beretz Midbar, even those that got lost in this wilderness, Harim Shami Kabetzcha, from there he will collect you, V'achu B'chiras Metzia, until it's a level of something that's found. Inyan Shaloi Fiyarech HaYegia. When we say something that's found, it's not dependent, and it's not a result of one's toil. It's beyond one's effort. That's why we call it a found thing. If it's based on one's effort, we're not going to use the word mitzia. So why is it called a mitzia? Ki HaKadosh Baruch Hu lo yishir k'viyachol ba'atzmei tzach nish gericht sheyimtzas ha'chelek al kabeh shleimusei b'midbar. Hashem k'viyachol couldn't imagine. Doesn't literally mean couldn't imagine, but it's like such a wow thing for Hashem that he's going to find a complete chelik alakah, totally complete in the wilderness. Everything in the hands of heaven is in the hands of heaven except for the fear of heaven. Therefore, it's not up to him. And therefore Hashem is excited about the avoid of the Yidden. Until it brings Hashem a great delight and enjoyment. Okay, like the simple idea is, it's not the same. Someone that enjoys and has delight because he made and he earned something according to the work that he put into. Someone that works his field, he will be satiated by bread. So it's not that exciting. I put in the work, I got the results. It's not the same, the delight of someone that goes in the street and he finds something that he never imagined. This is totally incomparable to the toil, and it's so much more exciting, and it's such a greater delight. That's why he continues also over there about the analogy of the eagle. The pasuk goes on and says, he will carry him on his wing. Through the avoid of tshuva, we go up higher and higher. We go higher than his wing. Evrasa is a play on aver. Aver means limbs and organs. So we're going even higher than the 248 limbs and organs of the king. How can we be higher than that? Because as we know, Yidden preceded even Torah mitzvahs. Like it's brought down Tam Be'el Yo, where it says, two things preceded the worlds, Yidden and Torah, and then the question is, which of the two preceded each other, the Yidden to Torah, Torah to Yidden? So Tam Be'el Yo says, Vani Omer, and I say, Yisrael Kadmu, Yidden preceded Torah, Shenamra B'Torah Davram Ne'Yisrael, Lamram Ne'Yisrael. Since in the Torah it says, speak to the Bnei Yisrael and say to the Bnei Yisrael, that means that Yidden existed and Torah was made for them. Until the Yidden go up to that place where it says, Hashem alone will lead him. Yisrael it's only Yidden and the king alone, nothing else. Yisrael Yidden and Hashem's essence are all entirely one. Last page, through learning these topics in the written Torah and afterwards in the oral Torah. Until the teachings of Chabad Chassidus, and the idea of Chabad is explanation, till it sustains us. This meditation brings us to action, to search out and refine the sparks everywhere. Especially when he meets up with these sparks by divine providence. So for sure, he does so and elevates them. Then we come to the fulfillment through this, the fulfillment of the promise. Hashem will lead him alone. That Eden will sit securely alone. The image of Yankiv, Bekar of Mamish, soon Mamish, Begula Mitzvah Shlem, the Mashiach's Kenu, the true and complete redemption through Mashiach. Yahweh v'Yigaleinu v'Lachenu Kamis Latzeinu will come, redeem us and lead us upright to our land. Speedily in our days, Mamish.